welcome. The world does not reward the pure of heart, nor does it crown the most honest man king. Power has never belonged to those who wait, hope, or dream politely. It belongs to those who understand how men truly think, how fear works, and how opportunity hides behind chaos. I do not speak to comfort you, I speak to wake you. History is not written by the moral, but by the strategic. Fortune is a woman, and she favors the bold, not the hesitant. Those who rely on luck lose it. Those who rely on wisdom bend events to their will. If you seek approval, close this door now. But if you seek control over your life, your influence, and your destiny, then listen carefully. What follows is not what you were taught, but what rulers learned the hard way. Power is not evil. Ignorance of power is. Let wisp be. Most people are taught that setting goals is the foundation of success, yet this belief quietly weakens them. When a person ties their identity to a future outcome, they surrender power over the present. A goal creates a fragile relationship with reality because it depends on conditions that are never fully in one's control. Wealth depends on markets, fitness on health, status on others' approval. The moment fortune shifts, the goal holder feels lost, anxious, and defeated. This is not strength. It is dependence disguised as ambition. From a Machiavellian perspective, power belongs to those who understand uncertainty, not those who deny it. Goals assume a straight path in a world that moves in curves. They promise certainty in an environment ruled by chaos. When a person says, "I will be successful when this happens," they unconsciously postpone authority over their own life. They live as servants of the future, not masters of the present. Such people are easily discouraged because every obstacle feels like failure rather than information. Goals also create emotional exposure. On se declare, they bind a person psychologically. If progress slows, self-respect erodes. If failure occurs, identity collapses. This emotional fragility is dangerous because it makes people predictable. Predictable people are easy to control, manipulate, and outmaneuver. History shows that rulers, generals, and strategists rarely announced goals. They focused on positioning, leverage, and timing, allowing outcomes to emerge without emotional attachment. Another weakness of goals is that they narrow vision. When the mind fixates on a single destination, it ignores alternative paths and hidden opportunities. Fortune does not move in straight lines. An opportunity often appears disguised as disruption. A goal-driven person resists deviation, even when deviation offers greater advantage. In contrast, a strategist remains flexible, observing shifts in power, alliances, and conditions. This flexibility is impossible when the mind is chained to a predefined outcome. Goals also encourage passive hope. People believe that effort alone guarantees results, but effort without control over context is meaningless. One can work endlessly in the wrong environment and still fail. Machiavelli warned against trusting virtue alone without understanding fortune. Goals often rely on virtue, discipline, and hard work, while ignoring structure, systems, and power dynamics. When reality does not reward effort, disappointment follows, and motivation dies. True strength lies not in chasing outcomes, but in building resilience against uncertainty. When a person focuses on developing skills, influence, and adaptability, they become dangerous to failure. Loss becomes temporary, not personal. A strategist does not say, "I must reach this outcome." Instead, they say, "I will place myself where outcomes favor me." This mindset removes desperation and replaces it with calm calculation. Finally, goals create impatience. They demand results within imagined timelines, causing frustration when reality moves slower or differently. Impatience leads to poor decisions, emotional reactions, and unnecessary risks. Power requires patience. Those who endure, observe, and wait for the right moment often surpass those who rush toward a vision they barely understand. To abandon goals is not to abandon ambition. It is to abandon weakness. It is to stop begging the future for validation and start commanding the present. The one who understands this becomes harder to shake, harder to break, and far more capable of shaping events rather than being shaped by them. Most people chase success as if it were a distant destination, believing that effort alone will eventually carry them there. This way of thinking blinds them to a deeper truth. Outcomes are rarely earned through direct pursuit, but through intelligent positioning. In a world governed by power, influence, and timing, those who place themselves correctly often succeed without appearing to chase anything at all. Machiavellian thinking begins with the understanding that where you stand matters more than how hard you push. Positioning means arranging your life so that opportunities are forced to find you. Instead of declaring a goal like becoming wealthy, a strategist asks where wealth already flows and moves closer to that current. Instead of trying to be influential, they enter rooms where influence is exchanged. This is not luck, it is deliberate placement. History favors those who understood courts, alliances, and proximity to power, not those who labored in isolation hoping to be noticed. This approach removes emotional desperation. When a person is obsessed with a specific outcome, they radiate neediness, and neediness weakens authority. People sense it and respond with resistance or exploitation. Positioning, on the other hand, creates calm confidence. The individual is no longer chasing approval or results. They are simply present in environments where results naturally emerge. This quiet strength is far more persuasive than loud ambition. Another advantage of positioning is leverage. Goals rely on personal effort, which is limited and exhausting. Positioning allows systems, people, and structures to work on your behalf. One well-placed relationship can outperform years of isolated struggle. One strategic skill, aligned with demand, can generate more power than endless labor. Machiavelli understood that alliances often mattered more than armies, and influence more than force. Positioning also increases adaptability. A person who focuses only on goals resists change, because change threatens the imagined outcome. A strategist welcomes change, because it often reveals new openings. By remaining flexible and aware of shifts in power, trends, and behavior, they adjust their position before others even recognize what is happening. This ability to move early creates dominance without confrontation. There is also an element of invisibility in this method. Those who announce their ambitions invite interference. Rivals prepare defenses. Critics weaken morale, and expectations create pressure. The strategically positioned individual moves quietly, improving their stance while others are distracted by appearances. When results finally show, they seem sudden, even effortless, though they were carefully engineered over time. Positioning demands awareness rather than blind effort. It requires observing who controls resources, who shapes narratives, and where attention gathers. Most people ignore these dynamics because they prefer simple instructions. Yet power has never been simple. It rewards those willing to study reality as it is, not as they wish it to be. This method also protects dignity. Failure no longer feels like personal collapse because success was never tied to a single outcome. Loss becomes feedback, not identity. The strategist remains composed, adjusting position again and again until circumstances align in their favor. This emotional stability itself becomes a form of power. To understand positioning is to understand the hidden architecture of success. Those who master it stop running after life and instead allow life to unfold around them on terms they have quietly prepared. Most people believe that announcing their plans creates accountability, but in reality it often creates resistance. The moment intentions are spoken aloud, they become exposed to judgment, interference, and unnecessary pressure. Words travel faster than results, and once they reach the wrong ears, they invite reactions that weaken the original plan. From a Machiavellian perspective, silence is not secrecy for its own sake, but a shield that protects strategy while it is still fragile. A secret agenda preserves control. When others do not know your direction, they cannot block your path, manipulate your emotions, or prepare countermoves. Power is not only about action, but about information. And information revealed too early becomes a weapon in someone else's hands. History repeatedly shows that successful rulers and strategists acted decisively only after preparation was complete, not while they were still building strength. Silence also conserves energy. Speaking about future success creates a false sense of progress, satisfying the ego before the work is done. This premature reward weakens discipline. The mind confuses declaration with achievement, reducing the urgency to act. By keeping plans internal, focus sharpens. Effort becomes quieter, deeper, and more deliberate. Results grow in silence, undisturbed by applause or criticism. Moving in silence also protects emotional stability. When plans are public, every delay feels like embarrassment, and every setback like humiliation. This emotional exposure leads to rushed decisions, defensive behavior, and unnecessary risk. A hidden plan allows patience. Time becomes an ally rather than a source of anxiety. Progress can unfold at its natural pace without external expectations demanding proof. There is also a strategic advantage in unpredictability. Predictable people are easy to outmaneuver because their actions can be anticipated. Silence keeps intentions ambiguous. Others misjudge, underestimate, or become complacent. This uncertainty creates psychological leverage. When action finally appears, it feels sudden and overwhelming, even though it was carefully prepared. A secret agenda does not mean isolation. It means selective disclosure. The strategist chooses carefully whom to trust and what to reveal. Allies are informed only as needed, and information is shared in fragments, not full pictures. This limits damage if trust is broken and preserves flexibility if circumstances change. Control remains with the planner, not the crowd. This method also sharpens observation. When you are not busy explaining yourself, you have more time to watch others. You notice patterns, weaknesses, ambitions, and fears. This awareness strengthens strategy and reduces mistakes. Machiavelli understood that listening often reveals more than speaking, and restraint often achieves more than force. Silence cultivates inner authority. A person who does not seek validation appears grounded and this calm confidence subtly attracts respect. Others sense depth where words are few. In contrast, constant explanation signals insecurity and invites challenge. True power does not announce itself. It becomes visible only through results. To move in silence with a secret agenda is to protect intention until it becomes reality. It is the art of allowing actions to speak when words would only interfere. Most people are taught that success is the result of steady effort applied over time, moving step by step toward a clearly defined end. While effort is necessary, relying on linear progress alone is a dangerous illusion. The world does not reward those who move slowly in straight lines. It favors those who understand leverage and adapt to changing conditions. Machiavellian thinking recognizes that a single strategic move can outweigh years of repetitive labor. Leverage is the ability to multiply impact without multiplying effort. It comes from systems, tools, skills, relationships, and timing. One well-placed decision, supported by the right structure, can create results far beyond personal capacity. A person who depends only on hard work is limited by time and energy, both of which are finite. A strategist builds mechanisms that continue to produce value even when they are not actively pushing. This is how power scales. Adaptability is what allows leverage to remain effective. Conditions never stay the same. Markets shift, alliances change, technology advances, and public attention moves unpredictably. Those who cling rigidly to a plan often collapse when reality refuses to cooperate. In contrast, an adaptable individual treats plans as temporary tools rather than fixed identities. When one path closes, another opens, and the strategist moves without hesitation or regret. Linear effort also encourages tunnel vision. People become so focused on completing tasks that they ignore whether those tasks still matter. They confuse activity with progress. Adaptable thinkers constantly reassess their environment, asking whether the current direction still offers advantage. If not, they pivot without emotional attachment. This ability to change course quickly is often mistaken for inconsistency. But in truth, it is intelligence responding to reality. Leverage often comes through people rather than personal effort. Alliances, partnerships, and networks allow influence to extend beyond individual limits. Machiavelli understood that loyalty, fear, and self-interest shape human behavior more reliably than promises. A strategist aligns incentives so that others move in the same direction naturally. When people benefit from your success, they become engines of momentum rather than obstacles. Timing is another form of leverage. Acting too early wastes resources. Acting too late forfeits opportunity. The adaptable strategist waits, watches, and strikes when conditions are favorable. This patience is not passivity, but controlled readiness. While others exhaust themselves through constant motion, the strategist conserves strength for moments that matter. One decisive action at the right time can shift the balance permanently. Adaptability also protects against failure. When success depends on a single method, loss becomes catastrophic. When multiple options exist, setbacks become manageable. The strategist always maintains alternatives, understanding that flexibility itself is a form of security. This mindset reduces fear and increases confidence, making decision-making clearer and more precise. Linear thinkers often measure success by consistency, but power rewards responsiveness. The world belongs to those who adjust faster than others can react. Leverage amplifies strength, adaptability preserves it, and together they create a force that does not rely on exhaustion or hope. The one who understands this no longer struggles against reality, but moves with it, shaping outcomes through intelligent alignment rather than relentless effort. Most people fear chaos because they are built for stability. Their plans, identities, and confidence depend on predictable conditions. When disruption appears, they panic, retreat, or collapse. This reaction reveals weakness. Chaos is not the enemy of power. It is a test of it. From a Machiavellian perspective, disorder exposes who relies on fragile structures and who carries strength within. The weak seek calm waters, while the strong learn to sail storms. A candle represents a life dependent on protection. It burns only in controlled environments and goes out the moment when touches it. Many people live like this. Their motivation survives only when conditions are supportive, when praise is constant, and when progress is smooth. The moment criticism, failure, or uncertainty arrives, their confidence disappears. This fragility makes them predictable and easy to dominate. Power does not reside in what needs protection. Fire, on the other hand, grows when fed by wind. It adapts, spreads, and transforms whatever it touches. A person who thinks like fire does not collapse under pressure. Pressure sharpens them. Chaos becomes fuel rather than threat. Economic shifts, social changes, conflict, and uncertainty create openings for those who are prepared to move while others hesitate. History is shaped not during peaceful stability, but during moments of disruption when old rules no longer apply. Chaos also strips away illusions. It exposes empty status, weak alliances, and false confidence. Those who relied on appearances are revealed, while those with real skill and adaptability rise quickly. A strategist understands this and positions themselves to benefit when structures break down. They build inner resilience, transferable skills, and psychological control so that no single loss can destroy them. Fear of chaos comes from attachment. When a person is emotionally attached to a specific identity, role, or outcome, disruption feels like death. The Machiavellian mind avoids this trap by remaining internally detached. Nothing external defines their worth or direction. Because they expect change, they are never shocked by it. This calm acceptance allows them to act rationally while others react emotionally. Chaos also accelerates opportunity. In stable times, progress is slow and controlled by established powers. In unstable times, hierarchies weaken, rules bend, and access opens. Those who can think clearly under pressure move faster than systems can respond. This speed creates advantage. While others wait for permission or clarity, the strategist takes calculated risks and secures position before order is restored. Becoming fire requires discipline, not recklessness. It means preparing in silence, strengthening foundations, and learning to operate without certainty. Fire is not chaotic emotion. It is controlled intensity. It knows when to spread and when to hold. The strategist does not seek destruction, but transformation. They understand that every collapse creates space for something new, and they intend to occupy that space. Those who fear chaos spend their lives defending comfort. Those who master it expand their influence with every disruption. To live like fire is to accept that instability is permanent and advantage belongs to those who adapt faster than fear can spread. When others pray for calm, the strategist sharpens focus. When systems shake, they do not panic. They rise, because they were never dependent on the system to begin with. Power is not something granted by the world. It is something claimed through understanding. Those who chase goals announce intentions, cling to effort, fear, change, and seek comfort, remain at the mercy of fortune. They live reactively, hoping circumstances will be kind. But hope has never built empires, shaped destinies, or protected strength. The strategist sees reality clearly. They do not worship outcomes. They master positioning. They do not speak loudly. They move precisely. They do not exhaust themselves with blind effort. They use leverage and adapt. They do not fear chaos. They grow stronger within it. This is not cruelty or deception for its own sake. It is clarity. It is respect for how the world truly works, not how it is imagined to be. Power begins the moment you stop asking what should happen and start preparing for what will. When you release emotional attachment, patience replaces anxiety. When you stop seeking approval, authority emerges. When you stop fearing uncertainty, opportunity reveals itself.